was it. That was the whole thing. I felt the presence.
2 practices to clean up all the little things. 2 practices to take moves that you, remember, you get 1 shot to do it. So when you get to Acrofest, and I promise you this, you miss a move and it just stings. It stings bad. It's like at home show. It just has a different feeling than random grade school that you perform at. Obviously, always be thinking ahead. The thing you should be thinking every time you go to move is, am I in the right spot? Have the right count? And what is my technique? Okay, when the dismount comes on what count? Then where do I go? Just keep thinking ahead. That's what practice is for. If you hit things in practice on a consistent basis, good chance you will in shows. Okay, we're playing the odds game.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
In competitive gymnastics, it's like all individual. Like I do everything myself, and so like the stuff I did was like vault, bars, beam, floor. So I like did my own floor routine, my own beam routine, my own bar routine.
Then you want to do countdown from 5 and do like push-ups or something?
Yeah.
2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2,
6, down, 7, down, 8, down.
And then acro, it's all about like trusting your bases and lifting each other up. So like here you do all the different things like elevators, tossing, pyramids, where it's multiple people trying to work on like one goal instead of like an individual doing one thing.
What does showmanship mean when you guys are tumbling? Yes. So anytime you ever see, we're not asking you to necessarily be Olympians, but there's still a part of tumbling that you are.
We mix acrobatics, cheerleading, and then gymnastics. A lot of the pyramids come from cheerleading. A lot of the acrobatics are your 3 highs and butterflies and building pyramids and stuff like that. Hand-to-hands, press handstands, that's from acrobatics. And cheerleading, you have a lot of group stunting and elevators, and you have a lot of pairs, and that's changed over time. Like acrobatic pairs and cheerleading pairs is different as well.
So you kind of build that chemistry with all these people and then develop personal relationships as well, versus in the Olympic style of gymnastics, you may be on a group team, but you're still competing individually. So I think that's the biggest thing. You're having to rely on other people and trust them that they're gonna do what they're supposed to do, or that you're gonna get caught, or things like that, that they're gonna save a move. So I think you just build a lot of trust and closer community through that.
Were you aware of a larger, like, Adventist gymnastics sport?
No, I had no idea how big it was until Acrofest my freshman year.
Hey, we're standing up. I don't think we'll have to.
No idea there were so many people who were so amazing at acro sport gymnastics that all would come to one place. It also pretty much solidified my decision to come to Southern. I didn't know it at the time, but Gym-Masters was a big part of that. I am very thankful that Gym-Masters has continued to be alive.
COVID really took a toll. It just did. 2 years of really not doing much traveling and performing and stuff like that. Our schools are struggling, and so this is it's a massive Acrofest that we had to have this year.
Last year and the year before, I feel like our team was very individual based. Like we focused more on specialty routines and what each person could do on their own, like handstands or Russian bar or trio. But like this year, I feel like we've been able to focus more on the group routine again, and that was an aspect I really liked from my freshman year.
6, 5, 6, 5, 6, yeah!
probably buried in my head.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, good hold.
She falls and they're stopping the foot where it's at. Right.
It's able to showcase like what the team can do as a whole, and it's really cool to see what pyramids we can make when like everybody on the team is used, and it's not just singling out one person, but it's what we can all do together as a whole. The routine that we have to perform Saturday night, it's like a big important part of Acrofest, and so definitely like spending lots of days here in the gym working on each move that we're going to hit in the routine, the different pyramids, the tossing skills, the tumbling. It's definitely been lots of reps and hard work and dedication and, you know, discipline when you're not motivated to do that rep again.
Amen.
I'm beautiful. I'm fearless. 1, 2, 3, 7,
Remind us of the greater purpose. Let this blue church shine. Amen. Step on 3, step on 3, 1, 2, 3, start.
Coaching change.
Coaching change?
What's that been like?
It's been an adjustment.
Coach Schwartz has officially retired. I know I keep throwing his name around because he's not actually retired because he's running the Union Acrofest, but he's officially retired, and Coach Johnson is now the head coach of Gym-Masters. And it's the first time it's changed hands in, I think, 20 years.
It's a hard transition to go from a coach that's been very well established at Southern and on Gym-Masters for so many years to another coach who's just different.
I've only known Coach Schwartz to be the coach of Gym-Masters, so it's just been different. I don't think Coach Johnson's doing a bad job by any means. I think he's doing a good job. It's just an adjustment just because he's a different person. He's got different ways of teaching.
My dad was actually coached by Coach Schwartz in high school, and then coached with him at my high school, and then Coach came here. So I've known Coach my whole life, and I've seen him as like a family member.
I think it'll be hard for people who had Coach Schwartz all their years of being on Gym-Masters to really have an easy transition, just because we all were really close to Coach and all the ways he worked with the team and all that stuff. So having him leave the team and then bringing someone else in who we don't know as well, it'll be kind of hard to just build a relationship right off the bat.
So I'm like one of the upperclassmen on the team, so it's my 4th year here, and so I spent 3 years with Coach Schwartz, and I really got used to him and his method of coaching and his like trust in me and my trust in him. And having a new coach, it's now like resetting all of that.
I'm a new guy to a lot of the people on this team. They've only had Coach Schwartz. I'm a complete stranger to them. A lot of people had no idea who I was, where I came from, none of that stuff. The last team that I was a coach of, I was inheriting a team that was not at a good place. Before that, I was starting a team.
I know he was Fletcher's coach, and the 2 routines that I remember from that was Gym-Masters. I was like, that's crazy. And Fletcher's. I still remember some of the moves that they did in that routine.
The last coach that's been here for 22 years, who had a great program, is now gone, so what's this next program going to look like? I mean, nobody could possibly have a team as good as a team that Coach Schwartz has. So of course there's pressure, but I'm also really competitive. So I love challenges like that. Tell me I can. Tell me that we'll never be as good as, really? All right, well, give me some time, we'll see. We'll see how good this team can get.
Coach Johnson's coming in, being like the brand new coach, so everyone's going to be watching us and seeing how we perform.
There definitely is a whole lot of pressure on us this year coming with a new coach and the first Acrofest in a couple of years, and I think that the whole team kind of realizes that, and we're rallying together to work hard, succeed, and accomplish our common goal.
I feel like Gym-Masters has a very definite name and legacy to maintain, and I don't want it to have changed at all. I want that for Coach Johnson, I want it for the Gym-Masters in general, but I want it to be very apparent that we haven't gone anywhere.
My parents were on Gym-Masters, my aunt and uncle were on Gym-Masters, my other aunt and uncle were on Gym-Masters. They all got married off of Gym-Masters. Basically, since I was in the womb, Gym-Masters was in my head.
It's definitely awesome to be on Gym-Masters because they've been the standard for so long. And there's definitely pressure to keep the standard where it is or even go beyond it, because you don't want to be the team that goes below the standard, right? Like, that's just such a terrifying thought.
Like, look ahead, guys. I know you're walking to a spot, but almost like you're walking to the crowd because you're getting ready to fight them.
Are we taking like a certain amount of steps?
Yeah, you probably want to count your steps.
I think it's a pretty good routine. I like all the additions that everyone's added in and like how coach has put it together. I think they're like very high level like moves, and us pulling them off is, I think, impressive. So
it's been intense. He's been pushing us pretty hard. Been running through the routine a bunch, trying to figure out the timing for all the moves, to make sure it matches up with the music on the beat drops and all that stuff. That way it sounds good and it looks good.
There's a very few people that are on the team that have been to an Acrofest, so not really anybody knows how to really work towards that goal in such a short time. So yeah, just trying to bring everybody's focus in, and just getting the mindset of, hey, we have to do this now, and we don't have another month.
There have been times already where I wanted to cry just because it's a lot. It's exhausting. You're exhausted day after day, but you put in the work because that's exactly what it's for.
There's definitely been times when I thought we weren't going to be able to get all the moves done in time and get everything squared away to where it feels like we're ready, but I feel like it's coming together pretty good for the most part.
I have a lot of faith in tomorrow's practice that we're going to get these things practiced.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 1. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. 5, 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. 3, 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
I have been surprised at some of the moves we've gotten seemingly really easy, and then some of the moves that we've struggled with. So, like my freshman year, it was this big ta-da that we built a 4-high, right? And we practiced it and we drilled it. And we're building a 4-high in this routine, and it was almost on the back burner, and it is just incredibly solid. But some of our hitching pyramids and things stereotypically have been really, really solid. And for whatever reason, sometimes they're really solid and sometimes they're wishy-washy. And so it's just very interesting.
I think we'll just have to trust in the work that we put in. So as long as we keep working hard, over these next 2 days, and I think we've put in a lot of good work, then it's just, we're doing it for God and to give honor and glory to Him. So whatever happens that night will happen.
Stay sharp!
6, 7, pose. Here's your dismount. 5, 6, 7, 8.
We've hit it. We just need to like clean it up a bit. So I think having the 2 practices this week, and then we'll also get to practice at Acrofest. So I think we'll be able to clean it up and make it look good by Saturday.
What are you most worried about for Acrofest?
I'm worried about injuries a lot again, because we have people who already have them, and we're bound to have at least one person get hurt at all our like little clinics.
Just in like the past week or two, we've had how many people get concussions and get injured and everything, and I'd say that's been a challenge because like, you know, who's gonna fill in this person's spot?
My body has just hurt a lot more this year than it has any other year I've ever done gymnastics. It's just, my body is just hurting more.
Everyone's getting injured. I feel like everything has just kind of hit me. I hurt my foot, I've re-injured my shoulder. It's just like the stupid little things that have gotten us hurt. Like, it's not some big crazy move, it's just the wear and tear is kind of getting to us.
We're dealing with shoulder injuries, you know, it could be a back issue, or I mean, there's all kinds of injuries that occur in the sport.
In this type of sport, danger is everywhere. We have people flying over other people. We have people on towers that are 15 feet off the ground. We have people that are doing moves that involve 4 different people standing on top of each other interlocked. So if they fall, there's a very good chance someone's gonna get hurt.
At any point, somebody could get critically injured. Whereas, of course, in other sports it happens as well, but this is constantly, every single time you're engaging in the sport, you're putting yourself in a place to get hurt.
As a coach, sometimes you have to ask yourself, am I pushing too hard? Is it them just not focusing enough, or, you know, did I need to stop doing that move 1 rep ahead? But yeah, it's never fun. You never want the students to get injured. Yeah, and sometimes some of the coaches in particular take it a little personally, like, you know, it's my fault because I pushed them too hard.
In life, it's so easy to find excuses. You know, why didn't this go as well as planned? Well, we had this excuse over here and that excuse over there. No one cares. They care what shows up on the mat, what performs. So no one cares about us talking about, yeah, we had a bunch of injuries right before we got to Acrofest. They don't care. They care what shows up on the mat. So instead of us figuring out what our excuse is going to be, I'd rather figure out how we're going to make it work.
Everyone stop. Oh, back there?
So Brandon's tagging up for tossing, I think.
Okay. All of our food. Yeah! It's like almost what we want. It's like very close, but not quite.
To get a couple more hours to sleep all the way there. I say I'll just have a fun time and get to know each other better on this trip, and hopefully maybe learn something about you too. And you're a great weekend.
Me? Oh, you put him in sport mode. Oh, he's in sport mode. It's always alone. Now with your feet.
It's a dog, but is it as cool as my bears?
I never realized how much this group actually could do for you until I was in it.
You grow really close to the people you're on the team with, because with other sports, like you spend a lot of time with them putting in reps, but I feel like with gymnastics, you put your trust, like with your life, in other people's hands. So I feel like that just grows you closer as a team and as like a family together, as apart from like other sports where you're not like constantly endangering your life with each other.
I thought he was coming back this way.
He was coming back. He was going back to brag that he knew.
So one of the first times I ever threw, we caught, and we caught with our upper body, and we just literally went poink.
Oh man.
Both of us got stitches. I got over my eye, I think he got over like his cheek or something like that. We got stitches.
Throughout the year and like getting to know my teammates, they've really like impressed me with what they're capable of doing, how they come around each other. That's just like been really great, seeing how everybody kind of like takes initiative throughout the year and kind of grows into a teammate.
Are you holding your weight?
I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Now put any color on that cube on the top. Can I see it when you're done?
Yeah.
After I do this. Okay, wait, hold on. All right. They know what the color is?
Oh, I didn't show them.
That's okay. It's orange.
Yeah.
Put your hand over my eyes. I'm also gonna close my eyes, okay?
You're close.
All right. Now, take the hands away. I can tell you that it's blue.
Oh, I see! Happy birthday.
Thank you. You can be mine.
Show would not go on. Oh, we got it. Whatever you guys want to do.
You weren't even up yet.
Five, 6, 7, 8.
Someone just lost their job, Kevin.
Happy birthday, dear Callie. Happy birthday.
New York Times. Huge block. How are we thinking for tonight? That one, but this one's kind of clean.
That one.
That's clean.
That one. Do a spin. Do a spin. Wait, we should do OTDs today. You could do the model walk. Put the other one on.
Along the yellow line. Let's go, guys. Load up quick. Where's Johnson? Wheels on the bus go round and in my head like yeah. In your eyes, you are not for that life. Just how fast tonight.
Johnson needs to go register.
Oh, I think let's see.
I'm trying to hide. Johnson, go to the registry.
Where's in the gym?
Okay, it's the Ortner Center. Which
They're up, but I mean, we still want to try to be quiet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nosotras tenemos un trabajo más importante.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, everyone get under here.
I can barely.
Like strengthen our bodies and give us fuel to perform well.
Just say we thank you for your love. I'm just asking you to keep us alert.
They're all hugging me.
I'm here.
Hi, buddy.
Did you just get here?
Yeah.
You drive all night?
Yeah, I missed my flight. I missed my flight. I had to drive all the way.
Hey.
There's basketball camps. A lot of people know about basketball camps and like volleyball camps. So I see it like as a camp. You get to go and you get to learn new things about the sport. And you are in little groups and you rotate from station to station to learn something new. And then it's over 3 days. 2 days are the stations, and then the last day you get to come all together and see everyone else who is in love with God and in love with the same sport that you love. At the end of the day, everybody gets to show off what they've learned or what they already knew and gets to show what they love to do.
We need. That's what I wanted for you to forward for a while. Nice.
We're kind of diving too low.
Hey, go.
Are supposed to safe? Go ahead and bow your heads for a second. Hey God, today that we get to the Acrofest. Yes, especially for the listener right now. I know she's hurt and a lot of pain in ICU. Ease her pain and help her to just stay strong in ICU. And the rest of us help us to also not get hurt, stay safe, and to glorify you in all that we do. We love you so much.
If you have an injury at Acrofest, you know that's the wild card, because there's no way to know that. You sometimes will have something happen and you have to fill in on the fly, but that's why I've kept coaches out of moves as much as I could. It's like we're kind of like the relief pitcher in a baseball game. We're available, but we hope we don't have to use us.
Injuries always adds more challenges, because it's like if someone can't perform, then you gotta sub somebody in, and then that changes things up a little bit.
I came the Monday, and then I also came the Tuesday before we left, and the Monday before we left was not good. It was not good, and I was like, so I don't know how we're gonna do. Definitely last practice I did not feel like we were ready. Like, we didn't have a really good last practice, last run through of the routine before we left. It was just kind of like, everyone's exhausted and we need to pack, so we're just gonna leave. Before we started it, I was like quite nervous because I was like, everyone is gonna watch us. It's practice, but everyone's gonna watch us.
I remember at the last Acrofest, just looking at the Gym-Masters so much. I was just blown away by their performance. I thought it was so cool.
How slightly embarrassing would it be if we failed? Or if we did like some of our practice routines before we left? Because there's definitely some that were slightly embarrassing.
We're still gym masters. We're still doing gymnastics here at Southern, and you got to hit your moves. And so if everyone just has the same mindset where it's like, you know, my stuff's hitting. I don't care about, you know, people over there, but like my moves are all going to hit. And if everyone thinks like that, it's all going to hit, and we're going to be focused. So it's come a long way. At first I was like, you know, I don't know, but seeing it, especially my favorite part of the routine is the beginning where Jake and Amy, you know, the whole swinging thing and Mariana flies over, and seeing that actually happen, because for a while it seemed like it wouldn't happen, and so you know, seeing that out of the belt and then actually throwing it is really cool.
Somehow it just always falls together. Like, no matter what happens, you're able to put something together that someone is going to love.
I'm hoping our three highs hit at the end, because that's kind of like the final move, and that's the last thing everybody sees. So
So I'm hoping that all the 3 highs will hit at the very end. That's the last thing everybody remembers.
If you hear the drum beat and you haven't caught that last girl already, okay, we're gonna be like this every single time.
Hands to your front of your
Okay, so just understand that.
Turn you.
Let me see how many people got the 2 highs. Go ahead, push me.
No, not yet. Because that's when people were still getting to their
I
spots.
understand, but I'm saying when we get to the spots, the first 5 is here.
Yes.
Okay.
Once we get there,
Yes.
we're there later than
Then the 8. So sit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
the thing is, the people in the middle need to wait for the outside. So people in the middle went an 8 count sooner.
Would it be a benefit to you if we're running behind if I call the move up?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I can just say, ready, boom. And everybody, that's your ready, boom. Hey, we're getting there late. Yes. And then I'll say ready. Because to me, guys, once we get up in the 2 high, we know that it's 2.5 counts later we throw up. But if we're behind, it gets tricky. Start. We're going to call the ready, then the ready, boom.
Ready? Because some of the people were there waiting for them.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, so I would need to say ready and then ready up. We could go up an 8 count earlier to throw the top throw. Yeah, we've gotten faster on this. That's why we're saving us right now.
Very good. I thought we nailed it. I mean, there are always minor mistakes, but like overall as a team together, we did a really good job. And so I think that also helped solidify in everyone else's mind that we were like, oh, we're actually ready for this and we've done all the work. And to have people there watching you and supporting you and like stopping what they're doing and watching you also is a really cool feeling.
Well, here we are.
20.
Oh, you can touch the line.
You're gonna stand. You're just basically going out.
Oh, I'm not in.
Team members who their first gymnastics show ever is going
Will be, yeah. So that's a little scary to think about.
This is my first time doing gymnastics. It's crazy. It's actually insane what you guys do.
It's a little bit intimidating when I see them do all their, okay, well not really intimidating, but like I see them and I'm like, oh, they're so good. And I have to make sure I don't put myself down because they've had years of experience over me. So I try to look to them for help, see what I can learn from them.
Coming in without very much gymnastics experience, no flying experience, it's a little hard sometimes to put yourself out there and to push yourself to do things that you've never done before.
I think we're all kind of like in the same little boat. We have to like prove ourselves each practice.
So yeah, I've been doing it for 3 months. And I guess I've been doing all right. It's not that bad.
I first got here and I was like, during the summer and during tryouts, they'd be like, okay, we're gonna do this move. And all the other girls would be just like, okay, like let's do it. And they just hop in, they do it, they throw it, whatever. And then I get there, I'm like, wait, I'm doing what?
Knowing your bases are going to catch you, knowing they're going to throw you. Those sorts of things also play a role in how comfortable you are when you're tossing.
As you learn new gymnastic skills, your mentality and your grit and your determination definitely grows with it, because with these new skills that you're having to throw, there's a whole new level of commitment that comes with it. You have to trust the people under you, people above you. You kind of have to know that they're going to be there for you no matter what. You have to have this like all or nothing mentality, because if you're half in, then you're on the ground. So you have to be fully committed to the skills you're throwing.
Tops should never hit the ground. It's like something we preach every single day at practice. You're there to catch the tops no matter how they come down. Like if a girl hits the ground, then the whole practice is kind of just, like it's hard for us to get back because we all take it very seriously because the tops trust the bases to keep them safe.
Okay. This move, it doesn't have to be a certain.
Yeah, I was gonna start on 5 every time when I saw Hannah getting wrist.
No, when Hannah's coming, you may be on like a 3, and then you're like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
go.
yeah, no, I mean, when Hannah goes, I start on 5.
Okay.
No matter what.
So we just all have to be at the same time.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We're uniform here.
Okay, I get it.
6, 8, 2, 5, 6, 8.
Just in case you didn't understand, if we're late in the music, we're gonna mount the tops quicker than we normally do. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna call the 1 before we toss them up, no matter what. So just go on the next one.
You're leaning in my seat, sir.
This, as I said, is all Jake gets when he comes in.
You're going to be disappointed with my birthing hips then.
The day that everything got shut down and everyone was freaking out about it, they're like, we're going home, we don't know when we're going to come back. And so Schwartz called this like, okay, the team is going to get together that evening. Everyone was kind of saying their goodbyes and stuff. Majority of the team was there. And we're like, what do we do? What do we do? And how do we process this? And we all sang songs. And one of the songs that they suggested was Highlands, just talking about like when you're at your highest and when you're at your lowest, God is still there. And so that was the last, kind of one of the last moments that we had together as a team before COVID happened. And then they sang Highlands at Acrofest. We literally sang this song in the last practice before COVID. And I was like, I got so many chills. I was like, what in the world? What a full circle moment. Like, how cool is that? Like the fact that something that was at the lowest, like here we are a couple years later, and like this would be considered a peak. And like, it was like the song words manifested in real life. And it was like God was like, okay, this was a low for gymnastics or Gym-Masters, and then here's I'm still with you. I'm still here and in your high too. Huh, it was so cool. That was really cool. Yeah.
I will praise you on the mountain, and I will praise you when the mountain's in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No one less God within the shadows, and no one less faithful when the night leads me astray. 'Cause you're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands, in the heartache, all the same.
When it comes down to it, the sport is a form of ministry. And so even if it's not necessarily like showing God, showing a Christian character, and just being a good person is like, that's what makes a good Acrofest.
No matter how we do there, honestly, people are probably gonna forget. We'll do some cool flips and everyone's gonna be like, wow, that's so cool, but other people will too. And so I think the thing that could make the most difference or set us apart the most is the way we behave. Whether it's just amongst ourselves or with other schools, with the clinicians, anything. I know personally, we really want to just show God's love to those around us.
On Gym-Masters many times too. It's like getting ready to take somebody out of the golf. So it needs to happen. You can talk, you can drink. The girl needs to do it now.
Like a way for us to reach people in like a different way than like normal, you know? Like, because I feel like in a lot of ways we can like touch a crowd of people by performing in the way we carry ourselves.
I think it's one of the coolest teams I've ever witnessed, not because like of their talent, but mainly because of how they actually incorporate God into what they do. When I came to Acrofest, you could kind of see how Gym-Masters held themselves more accountable for their spiritual appearance than other teams did. And I really respected that, and I think that that's what makes it so special.
It's just gymnastics. We're just doing flips on a mat. If you look at it like that, it's just standing on top of people. How can that be something that says, hey, this is what God is all about?
It's all about God. Like, we call it Mats the Blue Church. That's how we do our preaching.
So we perform on blue mats generally. And so it's something that we carry with us everywhere we go. Like, we pack up the van with blue mats and we drive it to a high school or an elementary school or a clinic or something, and then we unload our blue mats and we spread them out, and then we do performances on them, or we teach kids on the blue mats. And so I think the Blue Church comes back to this thing that we carry with us like everywhere we go. The Blue Church, it signifies the fact that we want God to go with us everywhere we go, and that the focus is not necessarily on us, it's on Him. And so our message with the Blue Church is that we use our blue mats to spread God's love, to spread the message of the church.
Thank you. Is this your mat? No. So you're finishing the degree?
I just wanted to stay down. You're here. Happy you're here too, Xander. Happy you're here. Good morning. Happy stuff. Good morning.
The way that I saw Jesus this week is, I don't know if you all know, but on someone on our team named Elizabeth, she hurt her with her elbows, so she literally became completely for herself. And her boyfriend has been the biggest example of Christ that I've ever seen. He's like taking care of her all the time, and like feeding her, taking her contacts out.
Our faith, faithfulness in Jesus Christ, that will bring us back together just like this when we get to Him. Keep that in mind and press on with that truth. Because I really want to spend each and every one of them.
You know, I have ADHD, and that causes a lot of anxiety for me a lot of times. And I hate being alone because I think a lot. And so I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to be with myself and just be with God instead of being around people all the time. And Gym-Masters in that way is something that helped, but also did not help at the same time, because I always had people around. I always had people to go hang out with. I never had any point where I wasn't with people. And that was something that I had to learn how to manage. And I think that now, this year, actually, after my first year of college last year, this year I'm doing a lot better with it. I can be on my own. I don't have to be with somebody all the time, and I value and cherish the time that I get with people. And that's in my opinion, that's definitely my biggest challenge that I've had to deal with. And learning how to understand that even when I'm alone, I'm not alone because I'm always with God. And you have to learn how to feel His presence and believe His presence is there.
Yeah, maybe add some more things.
Well, I haven't added any yet. Oh. No, I did a silver base because it's easier to blend.
Well, that was nice.
Okay, so like this?
Yeah, that's better.
Hot down there.
Any measurement of volume.
Step, hit, grapevine, 2, 3, 4. I'm just excited for people to be able to see you guys' routine, you guys perform, because you guys are going to do great. You guys are going to do a great job tonight.
Funny honest, bro. We haven't done that with set yet.
Okay.
And once everybody's set there, I will call the 1, and then on the next one, you put the tops up. Hey, it might be
1, 5 goes back, 8 goes up.
Yeah. Okay, it might be faster. Like if we're behind in music, the time between those two calls might be sooner. So be ready. I tried to do that yesterday just to like prepare you guys, and nobody did anything. Everybody just stood there and went, okay. This is the normal time we go up, so.
Yeah, now his eyebrows are. Hey God, thank you so much that we finally made it to the performance night of Acrofest. I know everyone is probably super nervous, and that's okay. I ask that you be with us and be with our nerves, help us to focus and to remember everything that we need to remember, help us to be there for each other, to build each other up. I ask that you shine through us in everything that we do today and tonight. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Well, I think the most important thing about gymnastics is the trust that we have to place in each other to make anything that we do work. And I just think that, like, especially within the team and especially me, just seeing the level of trust that I have to put in other people and the level of trust that other people put in me especially, it like makes me want to be accountable and make me want to make the team better because everybody's placing their trust in me. And so I think that especially within the team, just the trust aspect is so big that like you have to trust each other, and it only makes us grow closer to each other as a family and kind of shows each other like, oh yeah, I can trust you, you trust me.
I think one of the major ways I see Jesus in this sport is that gymnastics is probably one of the only sports that you can't have one move without another. Like, you need a base. You can't just have a base just stand there, not do anything. You can't have a top just stand there. They're just people standing there. But when you add more people together working in this one pyramid or in one direction and in one routine, like, the more stuff we add to it, the more people that we have, the more talent that we add to it, it just becomes better and better the harder we work.
This is a great vessel to minister to everybody around us. I mean, you know, we can do crazy flips, we can do amazing moves, but at the end of the day, like coach was saying when he was in the tunnel in France, he worked so hard to get here, and God was talking to him, was like, but is it worth it? Is it as worth it as, you know, the work that you'll put in to get into my kingdom? And at the end of the day, it's not. It's really not. We worked for a month, and it's gonna get us a 5-minute routine. In all actuality, we can't work our way into heaven, but we can work other people to heaven. We can lead other people to Jesus, and I think that's the most important thing that we can do through this sport.
I was just on the bus. Just now I was listening to some music, and I felt inspired by a song I heard, so I was like, God, if you want me to share something about this, you know, show me. And I scrolled through all of my, 500 songs in my playlist, and my thumb landed on the same song again. So I was like, I'm gonna share it. The song is called The Blessing by John Waller, not the normal one that everybody knows. But the lyrics are, let it be said of us that we choose to be a blessing for life. Every blessing and curse is a choice. So let it be said of us, choose to be a blessing.
I think everyone was nervous. I was nervous. I didn't get as nervous this year as the other years I've performed for Acrofest. Like, I'll normally almost pass out and puke and throw up, and I just feel like crying. But this time I didn't.
Left arm up, with the header. Right here. Right here. 1, 2, 3, SAU.
Again. All right. Guys, get it rocking.
Slow it down. You guys got it. You practice. You can do this. You're gonna hit it.
Deep breath, slow, smooth as fast. Quick breath, one more announcement. There's chalk over here. As you get in your lines, get chalk. Line up like we practice. Quick.